Do you happen to be afraid of the dark? If so, you're not alone. A new study finds more Americans than ever are scared to turn the lights off.
That's right. So what's triggering this unwanted anxiety? Professor of Psychiatry at Harvard Medical School, Dr. Gene Beresin, joins us with some steps to conquering this fear. Good morning, Prof. Thank you so very much for joining us.
Glad to be here. How are you?
Doing very well. Now, how common is it for children to be afraid of the dark?
It is extraordinarily common. Virtually all kids, or at least over 75% of 3 to 6 year olds are afraid of the dark, and it's a normal developmental process. For adults, it's not as common, although I must say, you know, about 54% in some studies show that they're afraid, but it doesn't reach the level of distress that it does for young children.
And I'm sure there are very different reasons for children versus adults, right? I mean, I go back to being a child and remembering really thinking there was a purple monster under that bed. I mean, the thoughts are really very different for them.
Yeah, you know, kids, you know, 3 to 6 year olds, first of all, they were previously, you know, they didn't see themselves as separated from an external world that was going to be potentially dangerous or harmful. We were dependent on their parents. Their imagination was not nearly as great. In the darkness, they are unable to process. You know, for example, when they're put to bed, they don't know, they can't process time. They don't know when their parents are going to be coming back, and they don't have the reasoning power to convince themselves that something like a monster or a ghost, that it's real for them. They can't tell the difference between reality and fantasy. You put that package together with the difficulties that they do for that they have for self-soothing, and that's the package. Plus, what they're seeing in the media is also very, very distressing to them. Many cartoons, for example, have thousands of violent acts. So for young children 3 to 6, it's a difficult phase of development, but most get through it.
You mentioned that it wasn't very prevalent with adults. However, those adults who do suffer from this fear of the dark, what are some of the reasons that takes place with them?
Well, the thing is this, you know, first of all, there's a difference between fear of the dark, which is not that uncommon. I mean, we're all, you know, you're walking down a dark street and the fight or flight response kicks in. And, you know, some studies have shown that, you know, over 50% of adults are afraid of the dark. When it becomes a phobia, that is, when it generates a panic attack, rapid heart rate, hyperventilation, dizziness, avoiding the dark, that's only about 1 to 2%, and that's NYCTophobia. But the fear of the dark in adults is not all that uncommon, but adults have more resources to actually tackle it than the kids do. They're not as dependent upon their parents.
All right, Dr. Beresin, thank you for taking time from Harvard this morning to talk to us, and we hope that if somebody is suffering from that, maybe they'll seek help so that they don't have to feel that extreme anxiety. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you.
8:19 right now. Nick Griffin has a look at what's ahead in school.